Hi guys, Igor here. Today we will implement our own templating engine using regular expressions in both Python and Java. So without further ado, let's get started. I have prepared two test classes in both Python and Java. They will serve us as a specification of what we need to implement. And what we have variables template, so we need to support variables. We need to support if statements with just a variable, so we'll evaluate whether this variable is true or not, and then render that block. And we also have for expressions where we can render given template, given block as many times as we have items in this variable. We also have some nested ifs and meta variables. We need to give information whether we are in the first iteration or in the last iteration. And what else? We also will have objects within for. So here we also iterate over items, but we have access to to fields of every single item. And we also have not last meta variable. As you can see, we can use it for many things, for rendering SQL, for some HTML, and for simple text. Okay, so let's run tests and see that they fail. We have 5 tests to fix. We should have the same in Java. Let's verify that. Yeah, so let's begin implementing, guys. What do we have first? First of all, we have template render file. In Java, we have a class and we have one render method or render function. First case is to support variables. Variables, they are just starting with $sign. So let's write a regular expression for that. So I would say variable pattern, like that, compile, and what the variable is. It needs to start with the $sign. We need to escape that. Then we need to have a group, and what characters we allow in variable. I would say that all letters according to ASCII, maybe digits, and let's say that dash, underscore, and dots. We need that later, and this needs to be in the square brackets. And I would say that $sign, because we should expect to have at least one of these signs as a variable name. Okay, and here I would say that we need to replace that. So let's maybe write a nested method and say replace if with the match and variables, and here, or maybe let's reverse our order, because my intention is to have something like that. Variable pattern sub, here you give a function x, the argument is group where we have a match. Here we call our method variables and template. Okay, And here basically we have this group, or specifically that, and we need to just have extract var key, I would say, from that. So group 1, and we have a map here, so I would say that we'll get var key empty string in other case, and let's cast it to string like that. Yeah, it worked. So let's maybe also fix the Java test. But maybe for that, let's create a variable pattern string, actually, because we'll reuse that regex later, as you will see. And here I would say I would just use it like that. So let's run our test. Okay, it works. So let's port it to Java as previously. So we have a pattern. First we have a string, variable pattern. Then we have a pattern, which can just copy from Python. And here we say pattern, variable pattern, pattern compile, variable pattern str, and here let's do maybe Java. Java, it is a little bit different. It's like variable pattern, matcher, template, I believe, results. We have a stream of results. We have a match here. We say var key also. We have a match. M group 1. And we also have a map. Let's get our default. And let's map it to string. And collectors joining, and it should work. It didn't. Okay, let's see the difference. Yeah, it's completely... Something went wrong, guys. What is that? Yeah, not that, but replace all. Yeah, we don't need to map anything, just replace all. It works similarly to sub in Python, and it will just call our function as we have stated here, and it will replace all of these patterns with our function result. Still, let's see. Okay, we didn't actually match it. Let's see. What is wrong with our pattern? Ah, yeah. Here during copying something went wrong. Okay, now it works. Right, so let's go with the next one. Next one we have should render template with if true. So for that we need to implement ifs actually. So okay, we need to write a regex for that. So let's maybe start with the Python actually, and let's write the if pattern. What do we need to have here, guys? We need to start with two curly brackets, so something like that. Then I would say that we allow for some white spaces, some white signs, or however they are called. Yeah, they are called just any white space. I was just checking that out. Then we need to have if. Then also I would say any white space. Yeah, any white space, could be none, don't need to require it. And then we need to have a variable. It's the same as the variable from our variables template. So here I would reuse our variables pattern. After variable, we also can have some white spaces, so let's do that. Then two curly brackets. After that, we can have really any character. Let's do the lazy mode. And we end with two curly brackets. Then also we can have any white spaces and any white spaces and two curly brackets like that. But also we need to use the .all mode to match so that white spaces are matching also new line signs, because here it can, this guy can span across over multiple lines. Okay, so right now we need to use it. So why replace if actually? Replace var. Alright, so right now we need to have the replace if, and here it would be similar actually to the previous guy, I believe. So let's maybe start with that. Here I would say without ifs template. I would say if pattern, also sub, replace if. We have one argument, so we don't need to have a lambda. Here I would say without ifs template, something like that. And replace if, we have this whole group. What do we need? We need to check. Let's fix that. We need to check. Yeah, and this needs to be formatted in Python. You do this like that. And this guy will be replaced with that pattern exactly as we want. But getting back to if, we have this guy. Need to check whether this guy is true or not. Okay. So actually we also need to take it from the variables. So let's say variables also here. So also lambda maybe, replace if x variables like that. And here we will have also var, or maybe let's call it if var, and it is in the group number 1. Then we have to render block, and it will be in the group number 2, which is that. At the end, we will say that if this is true, we actually should replace the. We can also have variables in this block. We can have variables as we have here, so we also need to call that guy, but we don't have a method function for that. So let's write the function replace variables. We'll take template and variables. Okay, and we just do that guy like that. We don't need to parameterize it. We didn't need to here anyways. Okay, so just replace var and that template like that. We can remove that guy. Here we just say replace variables template without if template and without if template and variables like that. And right now replace if we say that replace variables. The template is to render block. We have variables, but this is if the if var is true, else we will just have empty. And to render block, I would say that we need to strip, because we can have the white spaces at the beginning and at the end. So let's do something like that. Let's run it. It passes. It was that test. First one, second one, and this guy with the false should also pass. Okay, he is not actual. Okay, so we are rendering that guy, but we should have empty because the some var is false. Right, so something was wrongly implemented, guys. Let's see. If var, not if var, but variables get if var, if var, we need to take the variable from the map. This is just a key to the map. And it works. So right now, if we run them all, the 3 tests should pass. Okay, they pass. So let's port it to Java, because in Java we have only one test passing. But we need to have them, 3 of them passing. What do we need? We need to have if pattern, pattern compile. Let's copy that almost. Okay. We have long string. We say formatted because we need to use the variable pattern str. We have if pattern, and similarly, let's write similar code to that. So I would also say that we need to have replace variables method, template variables like that. replace var. Okay, I don't think we need that. Yeah, so replace variables. I would also create a method for replace if. Do we need that? Let's see. Replace variables. Then we have without if template. And in Java we have if pattern. Not that guy. Without if template. If pattern matcher template. Replace all. We have a match. And what here? If var group also to render block group to strip. Yeah, and here I'd say that if the variables get our default, if var, actually we need to cast that to boolean. We will not care about the valid format, and that's in our implementation, because it could be not be boolean, and then what? We ignore that case for now, but if this is true, we replace variables. Template is to render block variables, and in other case we just return the empty string. Template, not template, but without if template. Something like that. Okay, it works. So now we need to implement the for. So with the for, we need to do a couple of things. This is white space sign, by the way. In Java it will be removed. In Python we don't need to do that with for our strings. We can just have that. In Java, I don't know why it is getting removed from the text block, so that's why it is here. Okay, but getting back to for template, what we need to have here? We need to have a new regex for and new regex for nested ifs, right? So let's maybe do the nested if pattern first, because it will be almost exactly the same. The one difference is that we don't have the dash, we don't have the curly brackets here, but we have the dash. So we just need to replace it here like that, and it should work. And let's write the for pattern. So what do we need? It will be very similar to the if. So the beginning is exactly the same. Then we have a for. Then we also can have new white spaces. Yeah, we can have white spaces. Then the variable pattern. Then also white spaces in. Then also white spaces. Variables pattern. white spaces, 2 curly brackets, and then for the, actually we can have the same as with if, but I would add one small thing, which is that we catch here carriage return or new line sign as an optional, because it will be easier to strip that group. We'll see that later. So it will be catched here, and that group will not have carriage returns and new lines. And then we need to end with and also as with if, and similarly we have the same pattern for white spaces here. Okay, I think it should work. We see in the test. Okay, so I think we should have something similar to that. Replace 4. And we'll use it like without for template, for pattern sub replace 4 and the template, and here we say without for template. Right, and let's write the replace 4, guys. So we have element variable here, so var in the first group, then we have, I would call it call var from the collection, the second group here. Then we have this inner guy, so also to render block group 3, we not strip it because it differs whether based on whether it is a first element or not. So we'll handle this a little differently. And then we will need to render actually this block as many times as we have items and items variable. So we have more than one line. So we need to have a variable for that, like, you know, lines to replace. Let's have a collection, and at the end we say we have a line, and then we join lines to replace. Actually, here we specified the wrong variable. Let's fix that. And I would say that we also need to have a variable called value, and that one we need to take from the variables. So call var. If there is nothing, we take the empty array or empty list, and let's do the for. We need to have the index here also, so I would say enumerate the collection. Yeah, and one more thing is that we also will add some variables to variables. So let's copy them to another variable. So variables, which is our map with variables. Let's copy that because we mutated. And here we'll say we need to have these meta variables first, last, and then we'll also need to have the not last. Okay, let's maybe create variables for that, constants for that. So first var, first, last var, last, and not last var actually, not last. Something like that. Here let's say first, and we say that I equals to 0. Extended variables, first var first. I would say then that extend variables last var is I equals to len of call value minus 1, and extended variables not last var is not extended variables last var. Also we need to have this guy to be used in this block, so we need to say extended variables lvar is that guy. Lvar is the key from the regex. Okay, and right now we need to actually render these blocks or not. So we are going to handle nested ifs. Actually, can we reuse that? Yeah, I think so. We need to do something similar to that. So without ifs block, let's say. Here we use the nested if pattern like that. And what else? Our variables are extended variables, and our template is actually to render block this guy. So here we not have ifs, and we also not have ifs and variables rendered. So one more thing is that we need to strip it. So sanitized block, I would say that, and let's see. If this is the first block, we need to strip it completely, so remove anything that is before that. And if this is the next block, I would say that we only need to strip this guy from the right. So let's see. I would say that without ifs block, strip if first strip, but not sanitized block, but without ifs block. And at the end, actually with if we are replacing ifs, not variables. I was mistaken. So here we need to append that two lines to replace, but we also need to call replace variables. And our template is sanitized block and the extended variables like that. And let's see. Okay, still doesn't work. Let's see what happened. Let's see the difference. Okay, something got rendered, but not exactly. So we have made a mistake somewhere. Okay, without if template, without for template. Okay, so I think we didn't match it. So probably something wrong with our regex, I would say. Let's check it out. What we have. Yeah, we didn't format it. We didn't format it, guys. So variables, need to replace that percentage s, guys, with the variables pattern str 2 times, which is tuple. Okay, now it works. Amazing. Actually, let's run them all. We have one guy left. And maybe let's illustrate that strip thing that I didn't explain that clearly. Where we have it? We have it with that if. So let's always strip that and so let's see what will happen. Yeah, our test failed because we have stripped the white spaces here, and as you can see, this is what happened. So they were removed from here, and we want to preserve that. So that's why we only removed them from the left, from the first line, not in the next ones. Okay, that's pretty nice. We have nested if statements here rendered with the exclamation marks. So the last are objects. What do we need for that, guys? How it differs? Really, we have we have nested ifs, we have variables. So these guys, they have fields after dot. So I would say that we need to have maybe here object variable pattern, and maybe something simple like because how we will handle it, we'll match the variable and then we'll see whether we can split it. So I think we only need to have something like really anything lazy dot anything at least once, at least one any character. And let me illustrate that with, I think we only need to refactor that. So here with the var key, we will do the object match, and we check whether the var key is a key for an object. So object variable pattern match var key, and if object match, actually we have the object var, which is in the fields group, and we have object field, which is in the second group, I believe. And right now we need to have object value. So we need to take the object from variables. So object var, if there is nothing, we take the empty dictionary. Okay, and we have an object, and right now we need to take a field from it. So we can do this like object, if I remember correctly, object value, dictionary, and field. Okay, and let's maybe turn it to string. And let's see what will happen. Okay, it doesn't work. Let's see what happened. Okay, so it almost worked. We just don't have the commas here. Why? So if not last, we have them. Okay, so if not last is not working, I guess, because we have all this kind, but not the semicolon, not the comma. Let's see why. Not last. Yeah, we have typo here. Okay, guys, now it works. Nice. I think we have it all in Python. Yeah, we have it all in Python. In Java, we don't have the object guy, I believe. Oh no, we don't have for. Right, so let's implement that, guys, in Java. So what do we need, guys? We need to have the object variable pattern. Static final. Object variable pattern. Compile. Let's copy that. Okay. Then we have the nested if guy. We need to change the curly brackets to dash. Some of them. Dash. Dash here and a dash there. Okay, that's wrong. That's also wrong. Okay, nested if and for pattern. For pattern is equals to pattern compile. We have to copy that guy. Or that's not good because something has changed with the escape characters. Now it's good, I think. And we call formatted variable pattern string, variable pattern string, like that. And what else do we need? We need to have the first var, like that. Need to have the last var, like that, and the not last var, like that. Okay, I think that's it. And let's emulate the code, guys. So let's maybe jump a little. So replace variables. We need to have a way to do similar thing to that. So let's say, okay, let's do var key. Also object, but not much matcher. Object variable pattern, matcher, var key, if object matcher, find. We have the guy here. I would say that object variable. Let's have a matcher. What else do we need? We need, guys. I think that. So let's return object variable matcher variables. Object matcher, and similarly let's do object var matcher group first, object field matcher group second, object value get object var. Yeah, here we will not do the default, but if object value is null, we will return an empty string. Here we need to do some magic, guys, some reflection magic. In Python you have just this meta field. In Java you use a reflection, so you need to do something like that. Field object value get class get declared field object field. It can be private, so we need to say set accessible true. Then field get object value to string, and we can have an exception here. Okay, and this magic should give us the field value. Actually, it's not that much code comparing to Python. Here we have some meta magic field. Here we have meta magic object, let's say. Reflection stuff. Okay, and here I would say that we do similar thing to replace for. But we don't have an if. Actually, let's refactor that, guys. So let's say, because I think we need it. Replace ifs. Actually, I to be different. Template variables, and let's do the boolean whether we have nested if or not nested if. We do just that, but here we say that nested if pattern and normally if pattern. And that replace ifs, replace if, not nested. Okay, let's say that replace force template, also variables like that, without ifs template, without force template, replace force, without ifs template variables like that, without ifs template, without force template. Okay, let's implement it. So we need to take one more step here. For pattern matcher, replace all, and here we do the same, almost the same things. Let's maybe move the object variable function or method here. Here let's do the let's rewrite this code. Let's imitate that. So lvar call var to render block. Also also call value, but in Java we need to cast that, so we need to actually say that if variables get or default, actually call var and I don't know, empty list instance of collection call value. We'll have a function here, and in the other case we return empty string. So here we say replace for actually. Yeah, replace for with some collection. And maybe with that guy. So var call to render block actually I think we need, and variables, let's see, I don't know, let's figure it out. So replace for call value and var to render block and variables, right? Okay, and here actually extended variables. Oh yeah, let's maybe do this here. So would also say lines to replace some array list extended variables. So new hash map, and here we have a collection. So we can't use the indices, so we need to do something like that. Index. Yeah, and first is if this is index is 0, then extended variables put first var first, extended variables put last var, and last var similar to that id equals to collections size -1 like that. Extended variables not last var, extended variables get last var but not. What's wrong, guys? Okay, let's maybe do that. Because it's not boolean in the map. Like that. And here without if block variable, and here for that we have replace ifs to render block, and extended variables, and nested true, but also before that we forget about extended variables. Put lvar and actually the element. Then we have sanitized block, and it is without if. It is first question mark without ifs block strip. In other case we have strip trailing in Java like that. Then we have lines to replace. Let's add replace variables, sanitized block, extended variables. And actually lines to replace, we can have string builder. Here we can say or actually not. We can have array list, and here we say string join line lines to replace like that, and we need to increase the IDX. Okay, and I think that's all. Let's run tests, make sure that everything works. Nope, we forgot about something. Strange. Let's see. So I think, yeah, for works, for with object doesn't. So let's check our, yeah, wrong copy, guys. Yeah, it works, guys. We have implemented our own template engine, both Python and Java from scratch. You can have dynamic HTMLs, dynamic text, dynamic SQL, whatever you want. So that's it for today, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next one. Peace.